Hello and welcome to Sports by Compian. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, and I'm joined here by my co-host, ever-present person in general, Dan Gill. Dan, how are you today, sir?
You know, I feel like every time, like, the way you introduce us, it's like 80s, 90s, like, wrestlers. We should all be, like, sitting there, like, doing this while I get, like, saying our names. I get you a little jacked up. So, maybe hit them with the old ear.
Something.
I don't know. You tell me. Something, yeah. Like, do, like, the, like Super Smash Bro, like, intro thing. Like, I don't know. Something like that, but... I'm always good to get a good introduction by you.
Love it. It's good to see you, Dan. We got some rugby to cover. We got some USFL. We are in the thick of the playoffs. Teams are getting sent home. Teams are advancing their life and making a name for themselves. Let's get right into the one we always wanted to talk about. I don't know if you caught our halftime report, but we predicted this. Dan, what's happening right here? You can see our boy Satala is quite excited.
Yeah, so you might have to back it up like a little bit.
Let's back it up real quick.
DC got I think you have to go back a couple of seconds on that one, but they got a penalty try.
So they're turning this maul again, and they were doing this all day.
Yeah, they were doing it all day. That was like, I think, the second or third time in that sequence.
Yep.
It happened down there in the zone. So, because really, as you mentioned, if you watched our halftime show, New York went in hot in the halftime. DC was up 13-5 after giving them a quick score to open the game to New York, and then DC had some costly penalties that ended up with having two guys with yellow cards, so 2 men off the field. They're down two, and New York quite honestly took advantage of it. Turned into a 19-16 game at halftime, so still close. And DC honestly got away with. It could have been worse. It definitely could have been worse given the fact that they had that situation. So good on their defense for not giving up any more than they did. And then New York had gotten some points out, so did DC. But New York was staying heavy in their zone for a while, and DC finally got back down the field, and we had the situation where we had the try awarded by penalty. And I really think that's where things flipped. Because as you can see, we're like heading into the 68th minute of the game. It's getting very late, and the DC defense throughout the day had been relatively good.
Look at this tackling, dude. And beautiful, just so aggressive by 14. Great an opening.
This is some of the great passing. And
look at our boy over here in the background, dude. Imagine that Imagine that adrenaline rush, dude, of like looking back at a fan base fucking stunned and realizing their team is out of the playoffs and you're the reason why. I fucking love it. I love it. That's sports right there, man. Fucking upset central. Look at our boy just taking it in, dude.
Just knocking off the defending champions. At that point, it was icing on the cake for them, but, huge win for the organization. Their first trip to the playoffs, as we had talked about. And, they had a tall order in front of them, and they took care of business.
Love it, dude. And they absolutely handled it. I mean, New York was not looking like themselves this year. We obviously got some love out there from New York, out there in their East Coast ways, but they just did not look like themselves this year. And I'm happy to see a strong team coming out of the East that, can really make some noise, really give people some – because, when they're playing at a high level – like with Satala and stuff, when he's moving and finding people in space, they are fucking dangerous, dude. Now, can they get past the Free Jackets? I don't know. That's going to be a whole other story.
As we talked about their first matchup against each other.
Look at this 14, dude. This is the play of the match right here. Great play by him. And then just Satala just finding space, man. Excellent fucking shift. No chance for that 20-something to make that tackle, dude. No chance. They're changing direction that fucking kind of speed. It's so beautiful. Good for them. Moving on. The Seattle Seawolves taking on the Houston SaberCats. And this game was also very close for most of it. Until, the SaberCats do SaberCats stuff. Like, what was that 14? That was a bummer, dude. Oh, no, now they're in your territory? Oh, no, they're not stopping. Oh, they're still coming. Oh, no. I'm not going to say this is all 14 fault, Dan, but, so, like, I'm not saying that, right? I don't want to say that kind of stuff and just assume these things on my poor boy 14. Like, he doesn't deserve that. You know, oh, wait. No, I'm pretty sure this is his fault, Dan. What do you think?
I mean, he looked like he juked himself out. Like, he didn't have.
Oh, man, that was a bummer.
He didn't have proper handle on the ball. I mean, first of all, if they picked it back up, it would have been a knock anyway. But
they're not going anywhere. The game is over at this point. You know, they're down by 9. There's 2 minutes left. Like, you know, I'm giving this guy too much shit, but like, it's just kind of funny to see. Like, damn, dude.
I mean, it's a tough way to watch you. It's a tough way to see your season end that way.
Yeah.
On just a mental mistake like that.
Yeah, because I feel like the SaberCats, for as much like, you know, crud as they got on the show from us, to be fair, I just feel like, you know, they
did.
I definitely gave them a lot of shit, for sure. But, like, you know, they are a solid team, and they did give, like, the good teams a good old scrap and made them have to play their best rugby to beat them. You know, they saved a lot of starters for this game. Like I said, it was actually super close with Seattle throughout most of this game, and they even get a consolation try at the last 80th minute, you know, to bring it to 37. Either way, you know, solid season out of the SaberCats. You know, once again, fell short in the playoffs. I think they were in the playoffs last year, weren't they, Dan?
Yeah.
Either way, they once again fall short, but, you know, they're right there with the big teams. They just need a couple more pieces, it looks like.
For sure. And, I mean, yeah, like you said, for as much grief as they gave them, you know, they won the games they needed to win to get in.
Yeah.
And just couldn't capitalize on the opportunities that they had in this game. And it was little mental errors, and that's what cost us do. I know it's the same deal that we saw in the New York game. You know, sloppy mistakes, had to every day.
Absolutely. That is the name of the game in rugby at that level, is that who's going to make the mistakes. You know, Seattle was happy to welcome back their captain, number 8. You can see him in on this play as well. Gets out there and gets a good carry. The way they all flock to the ball like this, you know, you could almost kind of ask the SaberCats why they're not flocking to the ball a little harder on this. Maybe they're discouraged from seeing their guy just lose the ball, but Seattle attacks this, man. They attack it with pace, and that's what they're going to need to do if they have any chance of getting past the Legion. Which, let's have a look at those two coming weekend.
I think that's going to be a good game.
Absolutely. Both these games are going to be good. So, yeah, once again, that's pretty much how that all turned out. So we got the Eastern Final, which is going to be the Free Jackets welcoming your very own Old Glory. What do we think, Dan? Are they going to have a chance to make some noise here in New England?
They'll make noise. You know, we talked about on Sunday, the first matchup against each other was an extremely close game. DC almost pulled it out, but then their second matchup was not close at all. You know, I think if DC can stay disciplined, you know, New England is a team that if DC pulls that 2 cards same time again, they're going to pay for it. Whereas they got away with it in New York. Don't see that happening again. They just play disciplined, smart rugby to stay in it. But, you know, as the weeks have gone on, New England has just gotten better and better and better.
Scary.
So, yeah, it's scary. And as much as I, you know, obviously from the personal side, I want to say DC's going to win this. But, you know, I don't know. I don't think they will.
Never count out the scrappy fucking Cinderella story.
Yeah. No, you know, played a handful of those games, you know. You never know, but
and
you know,
honestly, if they do pull this off, Satala needs to win the MVP for sure. I don't even know if I'm saying the guy's last name right, but like he is their offense, dude.
No, he is. I mean, bringing him in has drastically changed that culture, that dynamic of the team. And,
I think I remember him from last year, like flying around the field. Like it wasn't his fault they were losing games, man. Like I remember seeing that crazy ass hair last year. I was like, damn, look at this guy. Yeah, he's getting after.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is going to be a hard uphill battle for the Old Glory as they go into the Free Jackets. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive the cannon fodder or the fire of the Free Jackets, if you will. It's going to be a tough battle for them. So we'll see how that game ends up. Seattle Legion versus the Seattle Seawolves. Now, Dan, this may be the champion coming out of this one here. Arguably, the Free Jackets are scary, but both these teams, I believe, have a solid chance of beating the Free Jackets. What do we think?
Yeah, so I mean, they're kind of like a similar situation as DC and New England. First time up when they faced each other this year, very tight game within 3, and then their second matchup was just a stelling of a 40-19 game. You know, we saw it 2 weeks ago to close out the season against each other. We had talked about this, that could it be signs to come.
So, they didn't have their captain with them for that game.
Yeah, so you never know. You always need your fearless leader.
Absolutely.
To guide you in, but no, I think just San Diego's been playing sound all year as well. I mean, I hate, as we've talked about this before, I hate taking 2 number 1s in the finals, but I think San Diego hangs on.
Yeah.
San Diego wins that one. We'll see New England.
And I'm okay with that because I would like to see someone other than the Seawolves represent the West. They've been dominating over there in the West for many, many years now. So I'm excited to see the Legion. Let's see if they can hold it down here for the last couple games and get into the final, because I have tickets, Legion, and I'd love to see you guys come play the Free Jackets. I want to see the best rugby possible, and I do believe. Although I would definitely settle for the Legion versus Old Glory. Who doesn't want to see a Cinderella story in final act? That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Dan, before we move on to the USFL, did you have any comments or last things you wanted to say about this MLR final and how it's all shaping up and looking?
No, I mean, I think it's a good mix of new teams, well, sort of new teams in Old Glory, but just strong rugby is being played. I like that all the matches so far have been very competitive and close. It's going to be entertaining to watch this next round go. DC New England's game on FS1, San Diego, Seattle on FS2. Make sure you tune in.
Fucking do it. Damn right. Hey, we got an excellent sponsor for you guys today. Menards! Look at this shit. So, Menards here will hook you up with fucking whatever the fuck you need, alright? Just roll into that store, and they got it. You're like, hey, I need this fucking thing. So, dude just rolls over here, here's the fucking thing, dude. Here it is. Alright, I'm fucking... You were missing it in your life? No wonder! And not only do we have it here for you, for your available purchase, but also we are going to give you 11% back the rebate. Just send us a letter, because they just like getting letters in the mail, apparently, Dan. But yeah, Menards, proud non-sponsor sponsor of Sports by Compian. Damn right they are. Moving on to the USFL, which is also getting very close to the end. And this happened fast, man. I don't know, the USFL, we didn't give it this love this year, maybe. But, I don't know. This just happened fast, I feel like. And now here we are in the finals. The defending champions are there again. There's very small David in front of them.
It feels like we just covered the XFL finals.
We did, didn't we? That's what's going on. They're all ending on us abruptly. And I just checked out the European League. I don't think it's going to be for us, guys. Anyway, go ahead, Tim.
So one game was great. The other one was a little bit of being taken out back behind the woodshed type of beating. Oh,
yeah, we really should recount these a little bit better. You're right. So let's talk about the close one here.
Yeah, so, quite frankly, last week it said I expected Pittsburgh to kind of walk away with this, because that's what they did in their first 2 games against Michigan.
They had plenty of opportunities to walk away with this, is all I'll say.
Oh, absolutely. Collectively heading into that matchup, Pittsburgh had given up 14 points against Michigan all year, and because I'm pretty sure it was 26-7 the first game and 19-7 the second game. So I was like, you know what, history is going to repeat itself. Man, was I wrong. But as much as yes, Pittsburgh had chances to pull away with this early, Michigan didn't help themselves either. There was a lot of costly penalties on both sides. I know towards the end of the game, there's a situation where Pittsburgh had 2 false starts. It was 3rd and 15. Like Michigan was going to get away with this. Get out of it. Maybe Pittsburgh would have gone for a field goal. Might have been on the edge of the range. Pittsburgh drops back, throws it. Defensive pass interference, first down. And there they are, like 1st and goal. So it's like, if it wasn't one thing, it was another with these guys. And
what were they doing? Why were they determined to make this a game? And credit to, I guess, that Michigan quarterback who's just finding dude just wide open. Pittsburgh's defense suddenly was just dude, fuck anybody going deep. If they're going deep, let them live their lives. All right, we're just gonna crush everything underneath us.
Put anybody over top.
It's crazy, dude. Twice in the last couple minutes, and then there's 40 seconds on the clock, and you can't even get these guys off the field. What is going on, Pittsburgh Mauler defense? We've been talking them up all year, Dan, and I feel like they could not close this game out. Although they did put it on their boy Williams, and he shined through for them, so maybe it was all a ploy by them to test him.
Yeah, maybe. I hope not. But I mean, this game again shows the horrible clock management by a lot of teams in this league. There was, towards the end of the first half, Pittsburgh couldn't figure out what play they wanted to run. They ended up trying to settle for a field goal. They made the field goal.
But hold on, wasn't that field goal a 59-yarder? Your boy over there with the ball is just a fucking stud, dude. Yeah. Just casually knocks to a 59-yarder at one point. Holy shit, this guy.
Oh, that was a different one. And then because it was a 30-something yard field goal, he made it. And then they Michigan called the timeout in time. So you got to kick it again, and Michigan blocked it. And then it's just oh yeah. And, Pittsburgh was obsessed with going in.
So hold on, he came back from having his first kick blocked and just tunes all that out mentally and fucking nails one that's double as deep as the last. Man, that guy should be in the NFL. What's his name?
He's gonna.
We've talked him up so many podcasts.
Chris Blewett.
Chris Blewett? I do think we mentioned his name last time. Good old Blewett, dude. That guy's fucking good, man. And so the fucking Maulers hang on in overtime. They finally, at least overtime came around. The defense was all right. This is crazy talk.
No, the defense showed up in overtime.
They're stop this. We don't want to do this anymore with you guys. We're going home.
Yeah.
So it's the bottom of the barrel. 2 teams just fucking yanking it out, man. And that was the North Division. But down in the South, we saw something very disappointing. I don't think anyone wanted this. What happened here, Dan? Why, Beth
I expected this to be a lot closer.
Of course.
First of all, Beth threw 2 interceptions in the game, and dude, McGough just put on a clinic. 310 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 84 yards rushing, and a touchdown. At one point, Birmingham was 7 for 7 on possessions with 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals in the game. And they could not, McGough was running around. They could not catch him. He was extending plays. He was going all over the place. There was one point that he took off.
He's a defensive coordinator's nightmare. He's just watching Contain get broken every play. He's no! Why? Why no Contain?
Dude, there was this run that he went on. They grabbed all of his face, has to turn his head backwards, and tore his helmet off.
Oh, shit.
And he's bleeding on his face. Yeah, I'll have to find the clip and send it to you later.
What a champion!
He's bleeding. He's bleeding a little bit, and you can see it. And he's running over to the stands, hyping the crowd up with blood all over his face.
Let's go, dude! He is trying to win over that Birmingham team. All right, I love to hear that. That's good to hear.
I know, and I will admit, they actually had a good crowd at that game.
Good.
Compared to the Pittsburgh game, they had a much better crowd. But I think
I wonder if that's good with an actual home team. Weird.
Yeah,
how that works.
And I don't think that the score. Obviously the score itself, 47-22, is not that close, but the scores at the end, they obviously benched a lot of their guys because they were so far out in front.
That's crazy.
Um,
That's crazy.
New Orleans ended up
Imagine you're
15
benching
points
guys in the
quarter.
playoffs, man. God damn, that's fucking dominant. They're
Oh yeah, because I think they started benching guys. I think they started benching guys when it was like 40-7, and then it, So yeah, so Birmingham, absolute clinic. I do not know how Pittsburgh is going to stop them. Pittsburgh has a good defense. That's the thing. Pittsburgh has a good defense, but I don't know if they can stop it.
Dude, I don't think so either, Dan. And I don't know if our boy Williams had a great game, so I'm not going to take that away from him, but we'll see how he can do against the Stallions defense because, all right, I'm here for it, Dan. Let them establish a fucking dynasty down there in the South and then be like, all right, anyone who wants to come into the USFL, you want us to merge or whatever, you got to be able to beat our boys, And like the Stallions, regardless of what happens with all these mergers and whatever, they can make themselves a brand name. And go ahead, kick the shit out of the Maulers in the final. Let this league know who runs it. I mean, you already benching players in your fucking semifinals game. Like, dude, just continue the dominance. Do it, Birmingham. I'm here for it.
Well, and they made an interesting point during the game on Sunday that Birmingham's offense, and this does not mean this in a negative way of any sort, but their offense is simple. They keep it simple. They're not trying to do anything overly fancy.
Yeah.
But they know it works for them, and they get it done.
Well, they got a really good tight end, and they got a really good receiver. So it's like you don't have to do crazy shit when you got those two things going for you,
No, and they're really good about their clock management, unlike a lot of teams in this league, and obviously Pittsburgh being one.
They just seem like a well-run team, right? Like of all the teams we've seen in this like league, like they just seem like a well-run team from the very beginning. They've always just seemed like they're established. They're calm. Like some of these other teams are doing this and that and crazy, and they're just kind of doing the same fucking thing every game.
Yeah, pretty much. And right now no one's figured out how to stop McGowan from running. So until that happens, you better hang on.
Yeah, he's their leading rusher. I was just thinking about this. Who is their running back over there? Is he a big name? Is he pretty good?
Their running back. What's his name?
Unfortunately, we've seen some of these running backs not be able to carry their teams, such as our
Person. Ricky Person, Jr. Yeah, he had he had a good game. He had 84 yards rushing himself. So, it's kind of, they like to run is the quarterback going to pull it back or hand it off? Because they had a lot of that where the quarterback would pull it back and he'd jet out to the left side ball. The whole line would be going right. He's got a wide open hole to the left.
Well, good for him. I think they're going to roll over these Maulers. I don't think that defense is going to be enough to hold them into this game, and I don't know if Williams is a winner. He looks like he's a high-energy guy, a great quarterback. I don't know if he's a winner, though. Like, it's going to be fucking tough.
He's got good legs on him, too.
Yeah, he does have good legs on him. So we'll find out Saturday if those legs are enough to carry the Maulers to a huge upset against the Birmingham Stallions. Dan, do you have any parting words?
NBC.
Or anything in general you'd like to say to the people, the public? At large?
We talked about how we were excited that we had football till July. Don't be sad it's over. Be happy that it happened. And, February we got the XFL again.
What? Well, we got the whole NFL season to look forward to here, Dan. Why are we talking about February?
Hey, we can be happy that we know there's another season of summer football.
That is cool. It is cool that these leagues are progressing. I don't think either one of them are about to go out of business, so it is awesome that they're going to be there for another year.
I'm not worried about the NFL going out of business.
No, you're not wrong. Okay, fair enough. That was more of like a wrap up to that. Okay, fair enough. I was just confused where you were going with that in particular.
No,
that makes sense.
No, I'm happy to know that we're about to have another season of both leagues.
Me too. I fucking love it, man. Continue to develop football. It is a fucking great sport. It develops some of the best fans, some of the best stuff in general. Don't watch garbage sports like baseball. Watch football. Sports by Compian. Out.